Good Thursday, everybody. Welcome to the Best of BTL right here in 2019, our third Best of show this week in a series of 3. We will be back live next week. Make sure you check out basszone.com for the schedule. All right, yes, I'm wearing it. The Blues get it done in Game 7, Stanley Cup champs in the Arch City, and they are going to be celebrating for a long, long time in St. Louis. I greatly appreciate all the emails and texts that I received last night after the Blues were victorious over the Boston Bruins. An extremely entertaining Game 7 and somewhat shocking. I was absolutely, thoroughly impressed by the goaltending of Mr. Binnington, and the Blues get it done, yes. Stanley Cup attire is on the way. Ordered some last night. Can't wait to get it and sport it on the water. And in a couple other places, too. All right, here we go. Best of show number 3. We're going back to October 27th, 2015. An interesting show with a weird-looking studio look. I don't know what I was thinking back then. Had some green screen stuff going on, but I like the look that we have now, the true look. Anyway, we had Brandon Palahniuk on live via Skype, and this was right after some story came out or some poll came out of the Anglers, and they were talking about guys that were overrated on tour, and we had him on, and Brandon talked about that. Plus, Matt and I discuss all kinds of other stuff that you just need to listen and check out, but it's a good one. And once again, live next week. Make sure you check out the schedule on basszone.com. That's it for the Best of shows this week, everybody. Stay tuned. We're back live next week. Good morning, everybody. Mark Jeffries along with the Nature Boy, Matt Pangrack. This is BTL Bass Talk Live, where we are going to talk bass fishing and anything else that we want to talk about. Nate, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Good weekend?
Did a little fun fishing.
Well, that's all you do anymore, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fun fishing?
Well, it's not that much fun when you're losing $2,000 over the course of the weekend. So
you did a little fun fishing.
I actually enjoyed it. So I guess that counts as fun fishing. No, went out, caught a few fish with a buddy that I hadn't,
Thunderbird, T-Bird?
Yeah, you got that tournament partner that you fish with and stuff, but you just never really have time to catch up.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess his girlfriend was down at Beaver's Bend enjoying a girls' weekend. I didn't have anything going on, so we got together, went out and caught a few fish, had a good time.
Yeah.
Got to watch. Here's the problem. Now my Cox Communication, I get all the yeah, that started out bad. The key word there is communications.
Yes. Yes.
I get all the channels, but I'm never here in case something goes wrong. I'm back for a day or two, and then I leave for another 2 weeks. Well,
Yeah.
the cable guy has to come out if you've got a problem, and I'm like, well, I won't be here. I'll be back in October. But for some reason, my network TV is out. ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS,
We've talked about
that
this.
type of thing.
Yes.
So I had to get on ESPN3 and stream the OU game through my computer and my computer speakers. Well, I had a big screen TV sitting there that was Not watching it.
So when are they coming out?
I still haven't called him. I'm very procrastinating.
I mean, how are you going to get anything done if you don't make the call?
I'm just going to hope one time I'm going to turn it on and it'll start working.
It doesn't work that way, man. Does not work that way. All right. Last week I got a little culture in Tulsa. I got a little bit more this weekend, too. You ever had Mediterranean food?
I think so, yeah.
It's different.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd never had it before. And I had this weird kind of chicken in this...
Like a jerk
It was just, I have no idea, dude. And it was really good. I'd go back for more. But it was pricey. I never realized that Mediterranean food was that expensive.
I mean, that's an island down there, isn't it?
No, that would be a body of water.
Well, no, the Mediterranean. The Mediterranean islands?
No. There's islands there,
right?
but
that's a Mediterranean. I mean, you have to get it from
it's a body of water.
The mainland, or from the land that's in there that comes up out of the water.
Do you know a country that is on the shore of the Mediterranean Sea?
Is Guam?
No. Guam. You just said Guam.
I have no idea.
You can't give me one country that is on the shore of the Mediterranean Sea. Come on, think hard.
Italy. Greece.
Italy. Good job.
Greece is.
All right, you remember what does Italy look like?
It's the boot. So there in Europe.
All right. Did you do well in geography?
I did. At one point, I could name every single country and their capital.
That is impressive.
Like Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah.
I mean, I had all that.
Do you know what the capital of Idaho is?
Idaho, but is it not Boise, is it?
I think it is Boise. Yes, it is Boise. Good job. Right. Speaking of Idaho, we're going to have
we got BP on. He's been
Mr. Palaniuk on.
He's been chasing elk.
Very difficult to do.
Like the whole Rambo thing, face paint, the quiet stuff, tracking through the woods.
Dude, I think that First Blood is on every single weekend. I had never seen it.
I just saw it last week for the first time.
It's on every single weekend, I think.
Dude,
somewhere.
That guy is nuts.
He's awesome, man.
So we're going to Skype Brandon in. He's actually home. It's 2 hours earlier, so it is...
7 o'clock.
Well, it's 7 o'clock, but we got him up at 6:30 on one of his few days where he's hanging at home. So we're going to have him on.
Yeah.
And then after that, we're going to have Mike Ramey, based out of Tulsa. There's like a new big bass circuit that's going around across the nation. It's like 9 stops, culminates in 2016, 50 grand on Gunnersville in 2016. But they got one coming up this weekend for Soldier's Wish.
Okay.
And it's like 5 grand on Keystone or Skiatook.
To win it?
Sorry, not Keystone, Skiatook.
Okay.
35. If you get 35 boats, 5 grand to win it. I think it's like $100 entry fee.
The biggest fish.
Yeah. And I think there's like hourly stuff. There's something on Grand. They're going to go out east. So we're going to have him on to talk about trying to get it going, get some momentum going for the Skiatook and the Grand one coming up in Oklahoma. So.
All right. We're going to get Palaniuk on here live via Skype here in about 5 minutes. But I want to say something. I was reading this morning, and a very interesting move. Have you ever heard of this outdoor sporting goods retailer called REI?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess they're prominent in the Midwest and back east. Is that true?
Oh, weren't they huge in the 80s too? Didn't they have like a rock band?
No, that's REO.
Oh.
You knucklehead.
Oh,
all right. Okay. No, REI. They're not around here.
Yeah. I have heard of them.
Were they in Illinois?
No, I've heard of them though.
Bold move they are doing. And it's kind of tied into the outdoor industry.
Okay.
A lot of hunting, a lot of outdoors, camping. I guess they have some fishing stuff. I don't know. But they are closing their doors on Black Friday. The biggest shopping day of the year. And they're putting together this campaign about don't be inside, be outside. So they're trying to sell all this stuff to promote the fact that, hey, you shouldn't be inside on Black Friday. You should be in the great outdoors.
Right.
Pretty interesting move. I kind of like it. I think it's very creative. I think if they do the right things prior to Black Friday, it's a pretty bold move. Agree?
Totally.
I mean, massive quantities of product move on Black Friday.
Well, they're just going to have Black Friday and shift it up.
Pretty much. I mean, that's what they're going to do. They're going to put together these promotional things and then make a big deal about being one of the larger retail outlets that they're going to shut their doors on Black Friday. Say, hey, stay outside, stay outdoors.
Yeah, I like it.
I really like it. I think it's very creative, and we'll see how they do from a financial standpoint.
Wonder who the first person to start Black Friday was. I'd be interested to kind of hear that story of how
I'm sure you could Google it up. Just Google it up. But you can do that during the break. See if you can find the story behind Black Friday. I'm sure it's out there. You know what's weird? And I was thinking about this the other day. I remember being, what was I? Like 11 or 12 years old. I think it was 12. And I went on a field trip to the University of San Diego. Mm-hmm. All right. We snuck into this computer room. And now, granted,
whoa.
This is 19...
They had computers?
1973. Yes. 1973. 73 or 74. Okay. They had this computer lab with these massive, just massive looking, big, huge monitors, but the screen was about this big.
Right.
All right. Little 6-inch, 7-inch screen. And we got in there and we started typing in. And I can remember typing in there, who won the 1968 Super Bowl? And I would get a response back that would say, what Super Bowl? What are you talking about? And that sneak into this computer, and we never got busted or anything, was really my first kind of reflection on how easily life has changed in getting information. I mean, it's just, you can do pretty much anything that you want. And then now, did you see what Walmart's going to start doing? The whole Amazon Premier.
Building another store directly 100 yards from my quiet apartment complex on a golf course that I moved there to get away from.
Did they build a Walmart there?
They're building a Walmart there. It's literally 2 miles from the mini neighborhood Walmart, which is 2 miles from the other Walmart on 20. I'm not happy.
Anyway, the big thing with Amazon right now is once they get approval, they're going to start delivering with drones.
Right.
Right. Walmart just announced this morning that they are going to start delivering with drones. All right. Who's going to be the first outdoor fishing company, all right, that is going to say, hey, when you're in an FLW or an Elite Series event here, we'll just fly it in for you. Be a drone. Drop it down to you right there at the launch.
The best guy on tour, the guy who knows most about how, you've got, I would say the drone czars would be Hunter Shryock, who fishes the Opens, and Brandon. Those are the guys who know how to work the drones. So, if it doesn't...
It's a possibility.
If the fishing thing doesn't work out for Brandon, he can deliver drones for Tackle Warehouse.
Deliver Tackle Warehouse merchandise via drone. Okay. But very interesting stuff there. And it's amazing how easily we can get information. They did not the Super Bowl. They did the NFL game this past weekend. It was only on Yahoo, and that was it. The game that they played over in England.
Really?
Yeah, it was not on network television. They streamed it. Some people reported having issues, buffering issues and stuff like that. But then other people who had the connection set up very well, it just gave
rave reviews.
That it was incredible. And it was funny. I watched the big WWE pay-per-view. If you're a part of the WWE network, it's free. All right, so we hooked up the old.
Was this the Hell in a Cell with the Undertaker and Brock?
Yeah, we hooked up the old.
I really feel like less of a person that I knew that.
Because you know that.
I really just disappointed.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good. All right. Anyway,
who won?
Lesnar. I don't even get into it. It's going downhill. Anyway,
move on.
The fact that you put the flat screen up on there, you get a keyboard out. And you can watch anything, and it's killing. Dude, I'm telling you, it is killing the cable networks and the satellite providers. Because now people are eliminating what they're watching, and they're watching everything basically on demand.
Well, the TV
internet.
TV is almost like becoming what you're saying, like a landline phone. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't have a landline phone. I don't know anybody who has a landline phone. You're getting all the information through your cell phone.
It's just insane, which, and we'll talk to Brandon about this just from a technology standpoint and from a media standpoint. We brought this question up a zillion times before. Is it necessary now to get that exposure? We had mentioned how important television was, but now with the way that media is changing, has digital become more important than television?
Which is a key component to something we'll be talking about in the upcoming weeks.
Yes, it is. All right.
If you know where I'm going with that.
Absolutely. No, so let's do this. I'm gonna key up some music.
Are we just gonna bring him in, or
we're gonna take a break. Okay. I need to pay some bills. So let's take a break. Come back with Brandon Palahniuk live via Skype. Everybody, it is Tuesday. Fall is here. We'll be right back.
Sleek new design with easy control file. The clearest images underwater with uncompromising range. Live mapping from the touchscreen. View notifications, video, even Google Maps on screen. And for the first time ever, real-time view of fish movements with live sight sonar. HDS Live. New from Lowrance.
I got my power pole down, stuck in the mud in the bottom of the lake, sitting so still in the wind and the waves, could even be a hurricane. I got my power pole down.
AFCO has a new foul weather rain suit called the Hydronaut. A lot of the features that I really like about it first is the speed vent hood. If it's raining out, you know how a person gets wet is when you run down the lake and the hood comes down. With the speed vent hood, it's going to stay up. It has a camera mount in the pocket on the chest. The Hydronaut has a 2-layer, 100% waterproof nylon shell. If you're interested in a rain suit that has a lot of cool features that's going to keep you dry, you need to check out the Hydronaut from AFCO.
Aaron Martins here. I'm going to be telling you about a new product by Sunline. It's Siglon PE x8. I've been using it almost extensively all year for my frogging, flipping, drop shotting, shaky heading, worming, jerk baiting. It's by far my favorite Sunline braid. I honestly, I don't say this unless I think it's true, but honestly it's the best braid in the market of any of the braids. Definitely check it out. It's a price point line, $14.95 for 165 yards, and that could last you a whole year, just one spool with using leader material. It's Siglon PE x8. It's my favorite braid, and I think if you use it, it'll be your favorite braid too.
Blue Water by TH Marine, offering LED lighting solutions for your boat, trailer, truck, ATV, and so much more. Engineered and built to be rugged with waterproof and submersible options. Designed for easy installation, Blue Water is available in a variety of colors and styles. All backed by a limited lifetime warranty. Blue Water by TH Marine.
All right, we are back. Mark Jeffries, Matt Pangrack in studio on a Tuesday. And today's a big day for me, man. Big day.
Big day.
Big day.
Big day for you. I'm a little hot.
Big
there.
day.
There
Yeah,
we
I
go.
know. I got you. Big day.
Your
Big day.
Teaching certificate, tests, school bus driving. What do we got going on?
Now, it is my first varsity scrimmage as a high school head basketball coach. So big day today.
We were talking about that off
Pretty
air.
soon they're gonna start calling for my head already, and I haven't even
That's what I
coached one
said.
game.
We were off air, and I said, yeah, this is your first year head coach. And I said, if things don't go well, I mean, is that stuff where you're going to open up the Oklahoma and it'll be like the Coach Jeffries experiment doesn't work, fire,
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like jumping into the Elite Series.
Yeah. There's pressure, but it's part of it. I mean, it's like going out.
How long have you been formulating how long have you been
working to get to this
for lack
point?
of a better term, being a pro co? An assistant coach going
16 years.
I wouldn't do it that way if I was running the ship.
16 years.
I'm cool. I'm along with the ride. It might work out, but I'd be over here fishing this point if I was on the trolling motor. I mean, that's what you've been doing
Pretty
for the
much,
last 16 years, and now you're on the front of the boat.
Yeah.
I mean, now you're making all the calls.
Yeah, but you know what I got? I've got a great co-angler with me.
Assistant
He's
coach.
freaking solid, dude. He's
So is it more
badass.
of like a team tournament then?
I would call it that way.
You'd call it like a Nichols team tournament or a Bud Light Trail or something like that down in Texas. One of the big Alabama Bass Trail deals. That's what you got going on.
He's super nice. He had been a former head coach, so really, really good situation there. So big day today. Very excited.
Congratulations.
And, we'll see how it goes.
No thrown clipboards. Nothing broken.
No.
You've
Dude,
been under
I've
control.
mellowed, man.
You
I've
actually
mellowed.
have. You're a little on edge today, but I mean, you got a lot on your plate. I was trying to figure out why. It's because I think you're nervous about the game.
No.
I really do.
I've mellowed.
I was sensing some angst.
No.
You know who's
It's all good.
Palaniuk is always mellow. I haven't really seen him unmellow.
Yeah. You ready to bring him in? Let's bring him in. I think he's drinking coffee. Brandon, you there, man?
Yeah, I'm here. What's going on, guys?
All right. There he is, the man live via Skype.
Was
Thanks
that a
for taking
well-timed
time out.
sponsor mug coffee sip?
That's my logo.
Oh.
That just happened to be good timing.
Wow.
Okay, now where in Idaho are you?
Home. Hayden, Idaho.
Hayden.
Okay. Matt didn't know what the
he's
town
like, well,
was.
what town do I put? And I was like, I don't think he's in Rathdrum. I said, just put Idaho. I was like, you're in the ballpark around there at least. I mean.
Yeah. Coeur d'Alene. Coeur d'Alene, Hayden. It all runs together.
All right, so is that northern Idaho?
Yeah, I'm 2 hours south of Canada.
Oh, okay,
Right.
so you're not too far from, what is that, Pullman, where Washington State is?
Pullman is an hour and a half south.
Okay.
They're good this year, aren't they?
Yeah.
Or no, is that Washington?
Yeah.
Which
No.
one of them's
Them.
good?
I don't know. All right, man, right off the bat, I want to hear about this elk thing. I'm intrigued with all this. I know it's somewhat difficult to do. How challenging is it? What's going on?
Well, this year they are definitely winning. I've grown up doing it my whole life since I was young. And when I had a lot more time, I used to kill a lot of them, put a lot of meat in the freezer. This year, I have spent a lot more time doing it than I have the last 5 years fishing on tour. And I have not drawn blood yet. I spent 2 weeks down in Colorado with the guys from Nomad Outdoor. And then I spent the last 4 days in Idaho on a rifle hunt trying to get my girlfriend one. And Tiff almost shot a big 5-point. We had it like 35 yards away. Too much brush, too much cover. No shots fired.
Would you have been able to take that shot? Would you have taken it, Brandon? Was
No, I
this
would have had to
us?
go like all Achilles from Troy on it and kind of jump up in the air and shoot it from the air, midair.
Was that a Greek mythological reference?
Yeah, that's exactly what I would have had to have done. You've seen it in the movie Troy. He jumps up,
Yeah.
stabs him in the back with the knife. Yeah, it's pretty much what it would have had to look like.
Wow.
But it's not going to work. I've actually got, look at this bad boy that I just got built.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's a first on the BTL show.
That is a first.
I am.
That would be...
what is it? I have no idea what that is. That a 22?
Close, yeah. It's actually a 300 Lapua that I was shooting softball-sized rocks with at 1,000 yards the other day.
1,000 yards.
Yeah, that kind of stuff's overrated, though.
Wow.
It's just fun.
I mean, what is that? 1,000 yards?
3 football fields.
Yeah.
More than 3 football fields.
No. 100 yards is a football
three,
field.
or 10
That's
football
10 football
yeah.
fields.
I was thinking
Yeah.
feet.
You just got your teacher's certificate. You
Feet.
just said 1,000 yards was 3 football
Sorry, I was thinking
fields.
of feet.
It's over
Sorry.
a half mile.
That's a long ways. That's
It's over a
massive.
half.
So how much more time do you have? Or is this, I mean, how much more time before the elk window closes and it's on the
Well,
walleye?
in Idaho, it's pretty much closing. I can't hunt in Colorado anymore because I had an archery tag. But I do have a Montana rifle tag, and that runs till, I believe, December 1st. So I still pretty much have a month.
All right.
Huh. How many have you shot total, like in your life?
What?
How many have you shot, like in your life total? I mean, is that like a one-hand thing, or is it something that you just like?
10 or 11?
Oh, that's pretty solid.
Yeah. So what does the meat taste like?
It's the best meat you can get,
Really?
hands down. It's a lot more lean than beef. It's a lot better for you, obviously. But it's not as gamey as like a venison or something like that.
I would like an elk burger. See what that tastes like.
Well, here shortly, when I kill one, I'll send you some.
I would love.
That's confident.
We'll have
Dude,
a little
and
Bass Talk Live barbecue.
Exactly. You know what we'll do is we'll fire up the barbecue right outside here, and we will have elk burgers
and
for breakfast.
We'll break out the Ducket Reserve, the Ducket Reserve 9, the Woodford Reserve Ducket Reserve 9, and have Palaniuk elk burgers and a little Ducket bourbon.
There we have it. All right, we got that covered. All right, man. Off season, a little bit. You know, a lot of from a media perspective, guys and sites and bloggers and all this other stuff that's taken place come out with stuff. And recently on bassfan.com, they did this survey amongst anglers. And it was anonymous. They didn't put any.
They did 65.
Yeah, they didn't put any
replies.
names by him and all that. And I think if they would have put names by it, it would have made it a lot better. But that's just an opinion. But one of the subjects, one of the topics was Matt.
I've got it right here. Who is the most overrated angler you compete against? There are 18 guys who received 1 vote. Randy Haynes got 2 votes. Howell, Rose, Velvick, and Reese all got 2 votes. Ish got 3. Wheeler and Swindle got 4. And then the big dogs, Jimmy Houston, Scott Martin, and you. And we were kind of like, huh? So we said on the show last week, I was like, dude, let's get Brandon on to be like, what's up with that?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're tied with Jimmy Houston and Scott Martin in anything, that's good. But
Depending on what the topic is.
I mean, so you were too busy killing elks. You hadn't even heard about that. I mean, no one called you. None of your buddies had called you or anything and been like,
No,
dude,
I knew about
what
the survey, but I had no idea until yesterday when you called me and told me that I was one of the top 3 most overrated anglers.
So what's your thoughts on that, man?
I want to know why. I want to know why they think I'm overrated. Because obviously there's some reasoning behind it. They didn't just randomly throw that out there. I mean, I'm top 3. You don't just get top 3 for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Jimmy Houston.
You got to actually work at that. So my biggest thing is why. Number 2, it kind of pisses me off a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
you
so,
kind of you want to shove it in their face next year, don't you?
Yeah, like come out with a little bit of vengeance next year.
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, where'd you end up in the points this year?
Oh, I finished 10th in the points.
Out of 113 that started. How many years have you made the classic since you came on tour?
Just 6 times straight. That's it.
And that was fresh off of winning back then before they changed everything. It was the Federation Nation National Championship.
Yeah.
What, 2 classic top 10s, 2 Elite Series wins.
Yeah. There's got to be a reason, and I'm kind of with him. I wish, once again, if people would have put their names by that survey.
Yeah, but that would never have worked then.
Why not?
Because if you're going to do a survey and be like, you know, who's the most aggressive man in the bass fishing media or something like that, you're not going to say Mark Jeffries.
Why not?
If I
would be proud of
that. If I know my name is right next to it, I'm going to decline to answer that question because I know I'm going to get an angry Mark Jeffries calling me.
Yeah, see, there you get a skewed answer when you put names by it. But I just want to know what the reasoning is. Like, I think there should be a vote and then a why.
It's good.
And both have to be answered to be counted. I mean, like, even Skeet's got 2 votes. How many elites has Skeet won? And AOY's Classic.
He's got a Classic. He's got an AOY, and I think he's got, 3 Elite Series?
3 blue trophies.
That's not too shabby.
Yeah.
But, oh well.
I like his
Someone's got to
suggestion
take it.
of, okay, if you vote, you got to write, I don't know, 10, 15 words, whatever.
3 sentences, like
why.
an SAT question?
Yeah, why not? Throw it out there. Would that not be good reading?
It would be.
I agree.
Because I find
my next question is that what do I have to do to become not overrated? What qualifies you to not be on that list?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
That's all I got in response.
Yeah.
I know. I looked at a lot
it.
of the feedback, and a lot of people really felt they had some heartfelt. They felt bad for Jimmy Houston. They're like, leave Jimmy Houston alone, man. That's Jimmy.
Yeah.
He does hold a record, multiple records.
It might have been tied by a couple of other Oklahomas.
Yeah. You know,
he was the first guy to go 0 for on the Elite Series.
Yes.
He went 0 for 11 in the...
Did you know that, Brandon?
You had the camouflaged year of 2006. Did you know he fished the Elite Series?
No.
Yeah,
he went the very first year.
He went 0 for. He did not get a check in one event that year.
No spinnerbait bite.
Then wasn't there a guy that made the Classic by throwing nothing but a white spinnerbait all year one time?
Was that Cochran?
I don't know.
I heard there was a guy that made the Classic throw nothing but a white spinnerbait.
Well, here, let's ask him this question, Matt.
Everywhere.
Do you think that you can make the Classic by fishing 3 things? What were they again?
What?
Docks?
Oh, no.
what was
The BMR squared pattern, bridges, marina, riprap, and ramps.
Yeah. Could you make the Classic by doing that?
Me and Panger have had this talk. I think you can, depending on what the schedule looks like. I mean, Bass is throwing some weird curveball places in there every now and then. So it's hard to say, but I would say 90% of the time you could.
Bridges, marinas, riprap, and ramps. If you haven't heard my theory here, and I mean, it's not my theory, but what you do is you can take a lake as a rookie that you've never been to before. You can take bridges, marina, riprap, and ramps. Know that you're going to be around release fish. You're going to be around pinch points depending on the time of the year. So you're going to hit the pre-spawn fish and the post-spawn fish. And you're always going to have water to fish because you can't claim a bridge, a marina, a ramp, or a stretch of riprap. That's community water.
Pretty much, yeah.
And you can eliminate on a 60, 70,000 acre lake, 55,000 acres of it. So now you've got 2.5 days to figure out 5,000 acres, which is basically a large pond.
And if it's a huge lake, you've always got new water to run.
Right. But it would take some balls.
Yes.
To 100% stick to that, no matter what. I mean, I granted there might be some scenarios where you could not do it. But, like he said, 80%, 90% of the time, bridges, marina, riprap, and ramps.
On the instant feedback, they're saying Charlie Ingram is the white spinnerbait guy. I don't know.
Gotcha.
So
okay,
that's what they're saying on the instant feedback. By the way, man, people need to go easy on Jimmy because his lake,
it drained.
It broke,
flooded, and then drained.
The dam broke
on his lake.
A lot of people didn't realize that, but when you watch his show,
a lot of it was on his lake. Now it's just Jimmy Houston hunts for arrowheads.
Pretty much, because all of his fish are gone. He's saying, that body of water flows into Lake Texoma in the north end, and they're saying, my gosh, that's going to establish a new area for release fish because he had he had some massive fish in that pond, and it was pretty cool to be able to walk out though and pretty much do a show out of your backyard, and that's what he did. Not anymore though. So we need to be a little nice to Jimmy. He's feeling a little down. His fish are
I can't blame
gone.
We'll stay with the Oklahoma theme. Grand Lake coming up, and I was talking with Jeffrey's off the show too. You know, the live stuff has completely changed everything. And obviously, in the last Classic, everybody knows how Casey Ashley did it, where he did it, what he did it, We were in Grand in 2013. You had a ton of coverage on you, but not the live stuff, obviously. So do you still feel like you have a big advantage going back to Grand this time around? What did you learn? Are you still going to go practice there? I mean, you've had a history.
I would still definitely like to get back and practice. The good part about that is that I flew under the radar for the first 2 days, essentially. Had no media coverage the first 2 days of that event. The first camera boat I saw was about the last 30 minutes of day 2, and then obviously a cameraman on day 3. So there was a lot of things that I did the first 2 days that I did not do the last day, just because conditions were changing. I was switching it up every day. So there's still a lot of things kind of in my back pocket that weren't exploited on TV as much or in the media. So there's still a few hidden gems. A little bit of what I had was exploited, but it's going to be a little bit later this year. I would think that what I'm doing is just going to be better, but I have no idea. That lake changes a lot. I've heard it's changed since we were there. So I don't know. Just go out with an open mind, and that's what I did last time. Try to fish different than everyone else, and that's how you win.
Hey, I'm curious, Brandon, during any event, especially now with the archived live coverage where you can go back and you can look at it, do you ever look at that stuff? This is a two-part question. One, do you ever look at the stuff during an event, even if it's your own stuff? And two, do you look at it after the tournament's over?
Like, see what Elam, when you guys were up there battling it out, see what Elam was doing as opposed to what you were doing, or go back and look at your footage on Huron, during the tournament.
I think it's a really good way to gain information quickly, but you have to realize that everyone else is also gaining that same information. And so I use it very cautiously, in the sense that you don't want to get stuck thinking that that is what you have to do, because not very often is the exact same thing happening when we go back to a body of water. So it all depends on conditions. I've done it before, done research, got stuck thinking that that's what I needed to be doing, and that's not what was going on. So it's a good tool to have, but you have to use it wisely.
But I think Mark was asking during the event.
Yeah.
Like after day 2 or after day 3. Are you sitting there on Saturday night? Like, look,
those guys are doing.
No, and also looking at yourself.
Looking
at yourself. I mean, getting some game footage of, you lost 3 fish. It was live. It was archived. You go back on Saturday night and you say, I'm going to try to figure out why I lost those fish. And you can say, I was pressing here, or I did something different with my drag. Or do you,
there's definitely a lot of instances where either being able to see what the other guys are doing or watching yourself gives you an advantage, or at least helps. And it's not something that you have that nobody else has access to. All 108 elite guys or 113 elite guys has that information available to them. That's just part of the world that we live in now. So if it's a tournament where I just haven't been able to figure out what's going on, a lot of times it'll give you a clue. In the last couple years, like going back to if you're losing fish and figuring out things, I've watched hours and hours and hours of GoPro footage of myself fishing. I'm actually sick of watching GoPro footage of myself fishing. I was surprised at first how much I learned, whether it be your timing of a hook set or the angle of a hook set when a fish bites from a different angle. All those little things you pick up on when you're able to watch it in video, and you can say, well, that kind of looked awkward. Rewind, press play, and you can use it as a tool to, I guess, kind of advance yourself. And it's all those little mistakes. I mean, Chesapeake Bay this year drove me nuts. I kept losing these 4-pound smallmouth at Chesapeake Bay, of all places.
Wow.
Found these giant smallmouth, and I kept losing them. I lost dang near 20 pounds of smallmouth on day 2. I finally figured out what the problem was, and I switched it up, and then I was able to catch them and put them in the boat, and that actually saved me when we were going up north, because then I didn't have that issue. I'd already eliminated that problem in my drop shot setup.
Okay, I have a question. Back to the video, Brandon. And I just thought of this. As a coach, one of the things that I do, I watch a ton of game film, not only of my own team, but of other teams. Is it a possibility, or would it be something that would help you based upon what you just said, that at the end of the day during an Elite Series event, could you request a copy of the GoPro footage from that day, whether they put it on Bassmaster.com or whatever?
Can you go to Shea Baker and say, hey, I want my file for
I
the
want
day.
my file for that day. I want to go back to the hotel and I want to look at it. Is that something that you're allowed to do? And would you do that?
The question has never been brought up, so I don't know if it'd be allowed or not allowed. I would say yes, it would be. The only thing is that we wouldn't be able to use that to post, but there should be absolutely no reason that you can't pull that footage for your own knowledge, right? Obviously, you can't get footage of somebody else, but
Right.
to get your own footage, I don't think that there should be any reason why you shouldn't be able to do that.
Is that something that you would use, though?
Is that beneficial, or
yeah,
is it just
yeah.
a waste of time?
That's what I'm asking. Would it benefit you to go up to Shea Baker and go, hey, dude, I need to get a copy of my file so I can watch it tonight?
Yeah, I actually think it would be beneficial. I may have to explore that option a little bit next year.
We get creative here. We think of stuff that helps the anglers, as long as it's not doing anything that you shouldn't be doing, obviously.
The thing is with that is that you have 8 hours in the day.
Right.
And by the time you get off the water, you're already thinking what you're going to do the next day to advance yourself, to maintain whatever position you're in, whatever it may be, depending on the tournament. So if you can go back and watch that, the problem is that you essentially have 8 hours of footage that you have to watch. So you can't just sit there and let it play out.
But
here's what I'm thinking.
You know what time of day, though, that you would like to look at based upon that
you
time
can go
code.
back, you can scrub through, you can look, say, here was a key moment where, what happened here? Or, I mean, there's a lot of things that you may not process in your mind that is happening.
It's called
that you didn't know
inattentional
about.
blindness.
And so that, it can be things as simple as where the fish are eating. You may not have picked up that they're eating right on a certain shade line, on a grass point or something. But when you go back and you watch the video, you can see it clear as day that that's where you continue to get a bite.
That's exactly what. At 10 o'clock, you knew you caught 2 random fish on a spot while you were just covering water, and you're racking your brain. You can't figure out why the hell was that fish there.
Yeah.
You can go back to the footage. You can look at the GoPro, and you can say, oh, well, if you look up on the bank there's a rock vein that's coming down there, and I totally didn't realize that at the time because I was just covering water. And you kind of can develop a whole new game plan in 20 minutes. You can go back and say, oh, I didn't notice there were shad flicking there, or I didn't notice, like you said, the shade line. I think that's a very underutilized tool that could.
Well, I don't think anybody's ever thought of it. Have you thought of it, Brandon?
No, not in the sense outside of my own GoPro footage.
Yeah.
Not as, getting that archive footage that they have, but they have it available. I don't know how far they back that footage up. I mean, that's a lot of footage from guys. So I don't know, how many hours of that they keep, but to get it daily, it would be nothing to take that footage, dump it onto a hard drive, and then just keep it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good tool just to keep forever, just to have.
No doubt.
There you go.
All right, man. We're running out of time here, but thoughts on anything that you have going on? Anything you want to show us? Is there anything sitting around there besides your massive elk rifle or whatever it was?
The problem is that I've got lots of things that I want to show people. New Stormarashi baits.
Can you show us half?
Colors.
Can you show us half of it? Half of something. You can
No,
like
'cause
cover.
it'll
You
give
can.
it away too much. I really can't. I mean, I'm staring at some of it right now. Heck, I got 4 new colors right here.
Just rattle something new around off the screen, just so we can hear what it sounds like.
Well, it doesn't sound much different.
Ooh, that sounds.
I mean, you could like, can you kind of see? Like, there's like little glimpses of things in there.
Nope.
Oh,
Yep. Oh.
little teaser.
But so I got some new Stormarashi stuff, different shapes, colors. Behind me, those stack of rods, those are actually prototype Abu Garcia rods. So
All right.
I can't really get into those either.
Okay.
I just got those a couple days ago. I haven't even actually got them on the water. I just got them out of the cardboard.
All right, man. How much fishing are you going to do, say, between now and January 1?
I want to do an incredible amount. A lot of it has to do with testing baits, rods, that kind of thing. And then I'll hopefully make it down to Grand and get down there and, do a little looking around, driving around, see what it's like. There's a lot of flooding down there this year, so I'm sure things have changed, and just kind of get focused, after figuring out you're one of the top 3 overrated guys.
Yeah, you need to get to work.
Lights a little fire under you.
Wow. All right. Last thing. What was the name of your hometown again?
It's Hayden.
Hayden. What's the coolest thing to do in Hayden on a Friday night?
On a Friday night. Oh, let's see. Oh, man.
I didn't mean to
There's
stump
not
him,
a lot
dude.
of cool things to do in Hayden on a Friday night. Go drive behind the lake, and
Easy.
you just drive into the mountains in Hayden Lake.
That's
All right, what's the
There's some bars
population?
and stuff in Hayden, but they're not that great.
All right. What's the
I'd recommend
population?
driving.
What's the population?
Population of Hayden is like 10 or 11,000.
Okay, so it's pretty. Do they have a Sonic?
Hayden does not
That's
have a
a weird
Sonic.
question.
We have
Right.
one in Post Falls, maybe one in Coeur d'Alene. That's it.
Okay. I mean, that's their MO, Matt, is to put Sonics in these smaller towns.
And Walmart's right next to.
Oh, you're just bitter. He's just
I
bitter,
absolutely
man.
hate it.
Oh,
Would
we
you
got plenty. We got plenty.
would you
want to
live 100 yards behind Walmart Supercenter? Yes or no question. Would you want to live 100 yards behind a Walmart Supercenter?
No.
There you
no,
go.
I was
That's it,
upset
that's
when
it.
they put one like 4 miles from my house.
All right.
I've got 3 within 4 miles of my
He
house.
loves it, man. Don't listen to him. All right, Brandon, man. Good luck to you. Thanks
Thanks for getting up early.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good interview, good stuff, and I don't think you're overrated, man. I don't think Matt does either.
Appreciate that.
All right, good stuff. We'll see you when you come back to Grand. Let us know when you're coming through. All right.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, man. Take
Later.
care. All right, there you have it, folks. Brandon Palahniuk. Good interview.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
That's why I like it. You never know what the heck you're going to get into.
It's really good. It's
He understands.
yeah.
He understands the sport for as young as he is.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to come back. We're going to take a break.
We're gonna hang on. We are gonna take a break, but I need to get set up.
Need to get set up to take a break.
Yeah. It's one of those deals.
We're going to come back with Mike Ramey. Some big bass stuff went away in Oklahoma,
Yeah.
and that's coming back. And it's also coming back all over the country for Soldier's Wish. So they got a hold of me and they said, dude, we got this stuff coming up, and Bass Zone is where we need to let the people know what's going on. So I said, hop on
cool.
BTL.
All right, we'll do that. All right, be right back. Everybody stay tuned.
And you made me moan when you caused me to leave, child, my happy home. But
For anglers who want it all, the new HDS3, a revolutionary step forward in simultaneous chirp, sonar, and structure scan HD sonar imaging. Find, navigate, dominate with Lowrance.
The best just gets better. Berkeley Trilene. Trilene is a trusted friend of millions of anglers, and Berkeley's made Trilene XL and XT even stronger, more manageable, and more flexible. Berkeley Trilene. The best just gets better.
Give your vehicle a new lease on life with Jasper. Quick availability. Brand of choice.
Engines that have been tested.
One mission.
One vision.
One customer at a time.
One. There's only one Jasper Engines and Transmissions. My company of choice.
At this time, I'm the only one working. I was told to quit. Coaches never noticed me. That was just my motivation. To work harder than everyone else. While you were sleeping, I've already done 150 suicides. Run 3 miles. My game might not be perfect. It's a work in progress. For every shot I make out here, it's another reason to fear me on the court. What you don't see is the hours of dedication I put in every single day of my life. What makes me is not what happens in a game, rather when no one is around. This is not a choice. This is a way of life. So just remember, when you're sleeping, I'm out here working every day to be one step ahead of everyone else.
Berkeley Power Bait. Scientifically developed with the most advanced scent and flavor on the market. Driving fish to hold on up to 18 times longer.
My rods look different because they are different. Every rod is built by the pros and for the pros. When you pick up a white Duckett fishing rod, you're getting a cutting-edge rod, one that's truly pro-driven, with the actions you need for every bait category you fish. I put my name on it. It's my promise to build you a great rod you can count on.
Duckett Fishing, Micro Magic, Macro Magic, or White Ice.
Try them. They work.
The FX Series has proven itself on the tournament trail, outrunning and outfishing the competition one at a time. And for 2014, we've made the FX Series even better, redesigned with you in mind. Experience the all-new FX Series along with the complete line of Skeeter boats online at skeeterboats.com or at your local dealer, and see what sets Skeeter apart from the rest.
All right, we are back wrapping up Tuesday, BTL.
I was thinking about something.
Okay.
You were giving Palaniuk all this advice.
I was just suggesting stuff.
We were giving him advice on, hey, think about what you could learn by going back and watching your game tape footage.
Yeah.
I think maybe we need to carve out an hour every Wednesday and Friday following the show to review a little game footage from the BTL replay.
Improvements we could make.
You know, you just kind of mark down, 3150 awkward moment.
Yeah.
You go back and see what led up to that awkward moment in the show.
That's, yeah. That's good. It's a valid point, I guess. Valid point.
It
seems like we're more on our game on Mondays.
Yeah, we don't
Tuesday,
do a show on Monday,
Mondays,
so you're really missing out there.
Yeah.
But so I get a call from Kyle Surratt, who Fred Kintawi, world traveler extraordinaire. Yes. He partnered with Kyle at Fish and Chips. And here's what I remember about Kyle. He sat behind Fred and learned how to play poker like 2 or 3 years ago at the Fish and Chips. Didn't know, sat down, and then smoked everybody.
Took all of our money.
He either totally slow played everybody or just a natural. Anyway, so he's part of it's called like a Soldier's Wish, the Fish for the Wish Big Bass Challenge, and it's kind of based out of Tulsa, and the whole Soldier's Wish thing kind of started. I believe the genesis was kind of the more tornadoes.
Yeah.
So I said, dude, we got a bunch of big bass stuff coming up. We're doing a nationwide circuit. It's starting at Skytook. There's one on Grand in March. And I said, heck yeah. So I got a hold of the director. Kyle put me in as Mike Ramey. And he's out of Tulsa. So I said, heck, hop on the show and talk about, what's coming up.
All right. I think he's on the line. Mike, you there?
I am. Hey, guys.
Hey.
What's
Glad to
going
have you
on,
man?
Oh, just a whole lot going on. First of all, thank you so much for having me on the show, and I've really enjoyed it. I watched Brandon and everything. I enjoy the show, but we do have a lot going on, and we have the Skytook event coming up in a couple of weeks. But that one, since it's our first year, we wanted to, get our feet wet and actually have a model, and we said, well, I fish a lot out at Skytook and know a lot of the people out there, and thought, well, let's get as many boats as we can out there, and let's just test our model, because everything looks good on paper. So that's what we're doing is we're having our first event there, but the major majority of the events start February 27th at Lake Hamilton in Hot Springs. And you're right, Soldier's Wish. Actually, Soldier's Wish began in 2013, and the interesting thing about that is Soldier's Wish were having their first ever board meeting the day of the tornado, and then when the tornado hit that evening, they all said, oh, we got to do something, and one of the board members that actually is my boss, he owns the company I work for, Resource One, and he had a 48-foot tractor trailer, and he said, let's head over to Walmart and load it up with everything we can. So they did that, headed off to Moore, was one of the first responders there, and with the first responders, I should say, and they were there for a week. And I don't know if you remember the gentleman at the 7-Eleven. His name is E.H. Pittman. He was actually Sergeant Pittman, and he worked there at the 7-Eleven. He was a National Guardsman. I guess he still is, or what? No, he was. And he actually, when the tornado came over the 7-Eleven, he sheltered or tried to shelter the two women with his body, and he ended up being paralyzed. One of the women and her child perished, but Sergeant Pittman became Soldier's Wish first wish recipient. Obviously, he was paralyzed through the ordeal and remains paralyzed, and so the first wish was granted to Sergeant Pittman, and they gave him financial aid to help with expenses throughout his ordeal. And so that's the Moore connection with Soldier's Wish. They really... never, ever would want such a tragedy to happen, but it was a springboard, it was an opportunity, and it has just, in the last 2.5 years, has just exploded for them. They've granted over 200 wishes to American servicemen and women, active and non-active, and those wishes range from like I said, financial aid to actually purchasing, wheelchairs or any kind of specialized equipment that is not covered, by insurance or the VA. So that's their mission statement, is to thank our American soldiers for what they've done by, evaluating their needs and hopefully meeting their need, either financially or with some kind of equipment. And what we did with the Bass Challenge is, honestly, my daughter's the marketing coordinator for Soldier's Wish, and my boss basically, started it. And I just wanted to see what I could do, and we thought about doing a little tournament. I fish in the Everett Team Trail over on Beaver Lake, and I thought, well, I talked to some of the guys over there and the guy that runs it, and we were just going to do a little tournament over there. And Next thing I know, we're doing one in Hot Springs. Next thing I know, we're doing one at Toledo Bend. And so it grew out of there. And I guess, the old saying, go big or go home, we're taking that mentality. And we're just, sending out a call to action to all the anglers to come, try to win $10,000, $5,000 at Skytook. But the rest of them will be $10,000 first place. And hourly, big bass hourly weigh-ins, and then every angler that weighs a legal fish on any of the first 9 tournaments will qualify to go to Guntersville in November of next year to fish for $50,000. And it's all 100% geared to raise money for Soldier's Wish.
Well, that sounds pretty good.
And we are, we're reaching out to everybody that we can. We're the sponsor campaign has started off slowly, but it's starting to gain some momentum. And we have a website. And again, guys, thank you for putting us on your website. We're at bigbasschallenge.net, and we're starting to get a lot of response from that across the board, all the way over to Lake Hartwell, Lake Norman. We're doing those in May, at the end of May and 1st of June. We're going to Lake Chickamauga in April, and then down to Eufaula in April as well, 1st of May. And then, like I said, we all end up in Guntersville in November.
So Skytook, that's the one that's coming up next. It's just in a couple weeks.
Skytook Lake, yes, sir.
$5,000, 35. If they get 30 based on 35 boats, at least $5,000 payout. You can go to what was the website again to download the entry fee?
It's bigbasschallenge.net.
All right. And what date was that?
It's November the 7th. We start fishing at 7 a.m. and the last weigh-in is at 2 p.m. You can register it. Can I say it online? Where they?
Yeah, heck yeah. Give all the stuff out.
Okay, Osage Casino. They are one of our sponsors, and there's a convenience store with their next to their casino and hotel, and they are allowing us to set up a registration table there, and you can go in and register from Friday at 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. and then early Saturday morning if you want to. You can register from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. there. And it's on the way out to the lake, so it's real convenient for the guys.
So if you're in Oklahoma, Skytook area, great way for a small entry fee to have a chance to, heck, it doesn't matter who you can beat. You can beat one person with a big bass. Jeffries could catch a big bass.
Maybe. But
and that's your style. If you consider yourself a lucky angler, you can beat the best with one bite. That's what I said. I'm working on getting my partner together. But also, regardless of where you are in the country, especially out on that central East Coast, but just a cool event to kind of keep your head up for when it comes into town and support a great cause. So, Mike, appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much, and I have become a big fan of your website, and look forward to doing more things and talking to you guys more.
Awesome, man. We also have a link up on the quick flips there. You can kind of click on either of those links to get more info. But thanks, man. Have a good one.
Okay, you too. Enjoy the show. Bye.
All right, there you have it.
He's a fisherman. We were talking before he came on air.
He's an angler.
He was upset that Palaniuk was ranked as overrated. He said, "Dude, he's clearly not.
He's an angler. You gotta quit using that term, man.
A derby competitor.
An angler.
Why do I have to quit using the term?
Fisherman.
Yeah, they are.
He's an angler.
You're an angler and a fisherman. I believe it's an interchange. You don't like that word, or are you just giving me a hard time?
No, I don't like that word.
Why?
We have females.
Well,
that are fishermen.
But you hear the softball coaches refer to them as guys all the time. The guys played really good.
No, they don't. They do not. They say the ladies. Do I need to pull some softball footage?
I think a fisherman.
You're an angler.
You could say fisherwoman.
Say angler.
But angler sounds so.
What?
Like San Juan worm, 8-weight, fly fishing.
Angler.
Watch the slime coat on the rainbow trout. Don't take its head out of the water.
All right. Good show
Or I
today.
guess sportsman. A sportsman.
Yeah.
He's a heck of a sportsman.
Outdoor enthusiast.
Outdoor enthusiast. A nature connoisseur.
There you have it. All right. Good show today. I want to thank Brandon Palahniuk for being on live via Skype.
Oh, we got a good one for Thursday.
Who we have?
Do we have Duckett?
Yeah.
We got Duckett.
Yeah.
And we're going to have Lucas back on. So
To talk about his Mexico trip.
Yeah.
All right. And then more videos on Thursday, too.
Ooh.
So a little tease there. We will tee that up off of YouTube. So everybody have a very, very safe Tuesday evening. Big day today. We'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah. Good luck on the scrimmage.
Yeah, I will let you know what happens on Thursday. So.
In a scrimmage, let's say your coaching is immaculate and you're blowing the team out. Now, do you pour it on in a preseason scrimmage, or do you
get
call
the freshmen in there?
You call off the dogs,
and you put the freshmen.
You don't try
in.
to say. You don't try to prove a point, to send a message.
No.
Say
Scrimmages are very casual. They're like casual gatherings between teams to try and get them prepared when they go.
Will you raise your
to
voice?
the regular season?
Will you raise your voice?
Dude, I'm loud all the time.
But there's a chance someone could get chewed out in a scrimmage.
I don't chew people out.
What's the
during the game?
Okay, to make sure you add that during the game.
Yeah. During the game.
Unfortunately.
When the doors are shut in the locker room, what do I always say, man? Stuff in the locker room stays in the locker room.
Jeffrey's is the only coach where people put the helmet on once they go into the locker room.
And then sometimes parents find out because stuff is
you're good. You're
left
good
the
like
locker
that,
room. No, so I'm very excited about today. Big day. So
well, good luck.
Back on Thursday.
You need to video it.
No, we videotape it.
You need to
Actually,
record it. You need to watch.
We put GoPros on the end, and then I review the game film. Put them.
Do you get in like a
behind the
dark
goals.
room and put your glasses on with your clipboard like
Pretty
they do in
much.
the movie Miracle?
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, I got big flat screen and a projection TV that we throw it up there, so it's all good stuff.
Is this James Brown?
Heck yeah. That's what we close out with now. James.
What did I want to open with? Rush?
I don't know. I'll play it for you on Thursday. I forget what the song's called. Rush is cool. I like Rush.
You literally just said before the show that you are a Rush
I
fan.
said I'm not a big Rush fan. All right, there's a couple of songs that are okay. 2112 is a really good album.
I'll take your word for it.
All right.
Thanks, Brandon.
All right, everybody. Talk to you on Thursday. We're out of here.